Hello everybody, this is Jules again, and I know I haven't done a review in a while, mea culpa, my bad, but I've been busy and I've been a little bit sick and I might have to edit out a lot of coughs, but it'd probably be a lot worse in video format. A lot of people have bugged me to do a review of the Montreal Fetish Weekend simply because I think my feeling and opinion about it is a lot different than most of the people who go. And I mean, I'm not saying that anyone who has an opinion different than mine is wrong, but I think that there are events that, work better for some people than others. So I'm going to go ahead and do the review. And as most of you know, most of my reviews are in video format, but I felt better doing a podcast format for this one because, there simply isn't very many visuals that I give. It's just mostly just talking. So let's get right into it. Okay, Montreal Fetish Weekend generally centers around Labor Day weekend. It starts on that Thursday before Labor Day weekend and goes up until the Monday. And this is my second year attending. Before you decide to go, or as you're planning to go, make sure that you have your passport. And I mean, it seems straightforward for everyone who's outside of Canada to have that, but not only have your passport, make sure that it hasn't expired because it's going to cause you problems. You need it to cross the border. Also, as you're gearing up, make sure that you get the event tickets early because they're cheaper, if you get it as they come out. But you really don't have to fret too much. You could still find deals if you decide late in the game to attend the event, because there are a lot of people who might have something going on in their real life who's bought tickets, and they generally sell them at a discount. So keep your eyes peeled on the forums dedicated to Montreal Fetish Weekend, and you will be able to probably score some tickets cheap because someone else won't be able to attend. I think the tickets, full price once there are no discounts are $200 a piece. But if you get in early, you could probably get it for about $100, $150. So make sure you either get them early or keep your eyes open for a deal. Also, you might want to print out flyers, and also, because some years they mail you the VIP passes and some years you pick it up at the hotel. But if you print out your hotel invoice and maybe a flyer, it's easier on you when you cross over to customs. If they see your gas masks out or crazy costumes, you could say, hey, I'm going to the Montreal Fetish Weekend and this is, my hotel reservations. And, you might get some questions, but at least you don't seem like a terrorist weirdo with gas masks and, rubber suits and whatnot. And also another thing, have some local cash, because you never know if they'll accept your credit card or not, and you don't know if you'll be able to pull cash out from the ATM machines. You might run into problems. And if you have American cash, the hotel will convert that for you, but generally their rates are pretty high. So you might want to bring some Canadian cash, at least to get you around to start off with, because, I experienced that the first year. Cards didn't work anywhere, and luckily we had friends there that, gave us some cash. We paid them back. But, if you don't have that, you might be stuck. About the host hotel. The host hotel is nice. I mean, it's not the best of the best, but you certainly can do worse. There are smoking and non-smoking room options. And the good thing about this hotel is you're near everything that you might possibly need. I mean, within walking distance, there are little convenience stores, there's a grocery store, there are restaurants, and there are even pharmacies. So, whatever you might need, from, condoms to socks to, an extra pair of drawers, you'll be able to get it within walking distance. One thing about the hotel that, I learned about, and I don't necessarily think this is the promoter's fault, they might have not even known, is that, when you go book the rooms, there are different classes of rooms. There's the standard, and I believe there's the superior, and then there's like something even above that. Well, between the standard and this, the next level up, there's a price difference, and the amenities of each room is listed accordingly. And with the next step up, you were supposed to get robes, and I personally didn't care one way or the other. And the other thing, and a lot of people factor this in whether it's worth it to them or not, it says that it came with complimentary breakfast. Now, one of my friends called, and they had the upgrade on the room to get their breakfast vouchers, and they were told that because they took the discount for being part of Montreal Fetish Weekend, that they did not qualify for the breakfast, and nowhere on the site, for the hotel or the event was that made clear. So, if you do upgrade your room because of the amenities, I would call in to make sure that you actually get those amenities, even if you use the discount code for the event, because you might be surprised, and you might have been thinking, oh wow, I don't mind spending an extra X amount per day, as long as I get free breakfast and free this or that. But if you're not getting it, you kind of paid extra for no reason. Because I didn't see really a difference in the size of the rooms, from the standard to the upgrade. So, I really didn't know what it was you were paying extra for, other than being on a higher floor. As far as activity goes, there were a lot of group activities and classes you could have taken, and I did look through the scheduling and the program, and the only one that really interested me was the making your own latex class. Other than that, it was the standard type of classes that you would get at any other event, and it seemed like a lot of 101 level classes, and I wasn't particularly interested, nor did I want to wake up early to go to those. So for those that do want to learn about it, there were classes, several classes every day. And other activities that were included were dinners, and I believe there was a boat trip, there were vendors, and also the fetish walk at the end. And a lot of activities were planned and executed by just the party goers, such as going to the sex shops or the fetish shops, and a birthday dinner, and a couple of other dinners that were, not part of the official event, but party goers just got together and did them. So if you know people, there will be a lot of activities that you can partake. And, there are a lot of activities that go on within, the event that's scheduled. The parties, and it starts from Thursday, and I believe they run until Sunday, or, I think till Sunday. They are typical fetish parties. I mean, if you've been to one, the format is pretty much the same. There's nothing that makes these parties stand out from the others. There's the fashion show and other types of stage show, and inside the music is so loud that you can't, really have a conversation with any other people. So there's nothing that really differentiates these parties, I think, from any other parties, and I don't think that's either good or bad. it's a fetish party. And the after parties, there are some that are held at a different club after the main party is over. You could get your friends and go to a different club for the after parties, or there were supposed to be after parties at the hotel. And I think the hotel after parties were kind of hit and miss because, the people that I was hanging out with would try to go and they'd say, oh, there's nobody there. But I think Saturday night, it was very packed and very activity filled, and everyone seemed to enjoy themselves on Saturday night. Now, the general vibe and feel, to me, this is my personal opinion, I don't think that the Montreal Fetish Weekend fetish party is as cohesive as the other fetish parties that I've been to. And what I mean by this is, I did a review for the Fetish Factory, and, once you got home from the club, there was a DJ at the pool, food vendors, and they're typically there during the day as well, the food vendors and whatnot. So there was always a central rallying point. And, even if you didn't know anybody, you could always go to the pool. There'll be people there to talk to you and, people just hanging out. I didn't know of any central rallying point at Montreal Fetish Weekend. And if there was one, it was probably the smoking area. But I happened to have a smoking room, so I didn't really have to go down that year. It's not so great for people who are brand spanking new. We met a couple of people at Fetish Factory where it was their first fetish event ever. And, we kind of incorporated them into the fold, and it was just easier to meet these type of people. And, we got to talking at Montreal, and they said that it would have been much more difficult to meet people and get out because it's not as cohesive. There's not activities that really pull everybody together at the same place at the same time. And the reason why, I didn't have that much difficulty navigating, parties or places to go and shop is because I knew people, beforehand, before I even went to Montreal, and we had partied at other places. We met a group of people from Fort Lauderdale there, and I know that they party a lot because, Fetish Factory throws a lot of parties there, and they were completely and utterly lost. They were like, what is there to do? Where is everybody? Where does everyone hang out? So they are a little spoiled because Fetish Factory events are a lot more cohesive. So, with Montreal Fetish Weekend, you're pretty much left to your own devices. On the plus side, though, Montreal is a cool-ass city. So, even if you do miss a lot of the activities, it's a cool city to explore. Don't forget to go to Poutineville. Oh my God, it was so good. There are a lot of fetish stores that you can go to, just architecture-wise. So, if you do happen to miss out on the daily classes or activities, you can always fall back on exploring a city, that's new to you. Another part of the non-cohesiveness, the first night, if you're not local, you're going to have to take a cab to the club. It's not within walking distance, and the rest of the parties are a couple blocks away. But, if you're in stiletto heels, stiletto 5-inch plus heels, a couple of blocks, it's a couple of miles in heel distance. So, it's not like you just go down the elevator, walk out the lobby, and get into a bus and go to your destination. You have to either, for the first night, take a cab on your own, or you huff it unless someone's giving you a piggyback ride. And another part that adds to the vibe is the fact that the hotel is not blocked out. So, if you go to an event where it's a blocked out hotel, no matter how the person is dressed, whether, they're wearing a tuxedo or jeans and t-shirt, or whatever, you know that they're part of the festivities. You know, when the hotel is not blocked out, there's no telling who's who, you know, unless you happen to know the person or the person is dressed in fetish attire. And you can tell that some of the people don't quite appreciate our presence. So, you know, you don't get that blocked out hotel vibe either. So, in conclusion, you know, some of the biggest complaints that I've heard, and I share in some of, you know, these complaints. Number one is the photo policy. You know, there was lip service given to the fact that there would be passes for those that didn't want to get their photo taken, and I saw one person have that. And, you know, I didn't know where to get it. No one else knew where to get it either. So there was a lack of communication as far as, you know, where to get one. And, you know, like I said, number two, it's not very cohesive. And a lot of others who've been to, you know, different fetish parties around the world and in the United States, whatnot, they kind of sense that too. For me, it felt like the promoters had an agenda of kind of bringing fetish out into the fore, you know, out into the public. And, you know, that's fine. But, you know, I don't necessarily want to be a part of that agenda. A lot of the activities and, you know, just everything kind of centered around you having to put yourself out into the public to get to a party instead of, you know, having shuttles. You had to walk several blocks down, and, you know, you're passing restaurants, you're passing a lot of vanilla people, and, you know, don't get me wrong, a lot of people like that, you know, and they like to be out in the public, but I'm not one of those people. So a lot of times, you know, I didn't even want to get dressed and go to the parties knowing that I had to walk several blocks, you know, and pass all these people and deal with them getting in my face. And it just put me, you know, out of the partying headspace. So, you know, I skipped out on going a couple of nights simply because I didn't want to have to deal with that. There will be looky-loos, and, you know, even getting into the club, you know, there's a congregation outside with a lot of vanilla people snapping pictures, and the official people taking pictures too. At first I thought that, you know, the photographers got better about it, but, you know, once you're inside the club, you know, some of the quote-unquote official photographers, they just went ahead and took pictures of what they wanted to. So, you know, it depends on who you talk to as far as the professionalism of the photographers. You know, and the first night, I guess if you don't know people already there, you might not know that you're going to have to hop your ass into a cab and get to the party. So, like I said, you know, you need to know people there if it's your first time. So, I'm not saying that this is a bad event, because even my partner, he enjoys this event very much. But there are people like me who might be a little leery of the, you know, going out into the public. You know, I mean, when you go to the parties, you have to kind of, you know, go through the vanilla public to get there. They have dinners where you get dressed up and go to a vanilla restaurant, and, you know, I mean, I wasn't digging that either. A lot of people do, and that's cool. And the whole fetish walk thing, it's a big to-do, and a lot of people enjoy it. My bitch enjoys it very much, but that's not something I'm into. So, you know, I'm not saying this is a bad event, but, you know, this is not an event for me, and I probably won't be attending in the future, simply because, you know, there are other parties that I get a bigger bang for my fetish dollars, and, you know, I don't get too much, me personally, I don't get too much value out of this particular event. But, you know, if going out in public and getting dressed in public is your thing, you will get to do this multiple times, so you will enjoy yourself. And if you're not that kind of person, then, you might not enjoy it as much as, someone who might be a little bit more exhibitionist might. So this concludes my review for Montreal Fetish Weekend. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me and I'll try to answer to the best of my ability. So until the next time, bye.